Hey YouTube, Satoshi Matrix here yet again, bringing you another video. In this video, I'll be stress testing the Retro Duo Portable, so make sure you've watched the first part of my review. Alright, so let's get to it. Here is Super Mario All-Stars running on the Retro Duo Portable. I have hooked up through its AV line a link to the TV. So the first thing you'll notice is obviously the LCD does not turn off by default. You can actually manually do this by simply pressing the contrast button 4 times, and there it goes off. So yeah, the next thing you'll notice is the composite video output is obviously not that strong. I don't know if you'd be able to see that graininess, but it's really not that sharp. This is by far the worst aspect of the Retro Duo Portable. The video output to a TV is just really weak. It's worse than the Superboy's, and it's also worse than the FC16 Go. It's dark, it looks grainy, it looks bad, but eventually you'll be able to get used to it. But if you're buying it solely for the purpose of using the LCD or using the TV instead of the LCD, it's not really ideal. The Superboy makes a much better SNES home console substitute than the Retro Duo Portable does. But the screen, as you might notice, is very bright and vibrant. It's the complete opposite. The LCD is just perfect. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. In fact, I'd say it's even better than the screen on the Superboys. But unfortunately, you can't say the same for the TV video output. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that. Next, I'm going to show you the problems that I was showing you, or I was telling you about with the D-pad. So here, I'm going to boot up Mario 3. Yep, Mario 3. Boot up the first stage. So let's jump over this Goomba. Oops. It's not how to do it. Fortunately, I'm looking through the view lens here, and it's not working. But enough excuses. Let's just kill this Goomba. Alright, done. Now, I'm going to be pressing the D-pad inwards, which will press up, down, left, and right all at the same time, and show you the interesting results. Watch Mario carefully. Yeah, did you see that? Mario totally just moonwalked. So yeah, that's there's the game running on the TV through the device. Let's turn it off. Let's pull the game out. To get the game out, you just simply pull up on it, same as you would with the Superboy or the FC16 Go. Next, I'm going to show you the game that everybody shows whenever there's the SNES clone. Star Fox. Let's put in Star Fox. You have to make sure the game is seated completely evenly. Turn it on. There's Star Fox. I don't really know what to say about Star Fox. I mean, it's Star Fox. So there's enough Star Fox. Pull the game out, you just simply pull up, and that's all there is to it. The stand came off, so I gotta put the stand back on. There it is. Next, Super Famicom game. Here is Puzzle Bobble, Bust-A-Move, as it's known in the US. Simply seat it in there, make sure it's even, turn it on. And here's what I'm telling you what happens when a game is not seated in right. When you don't seat a game properly, you get these lines that go through the LCD screen. And that's a clear indication that the game is not making proper contact with the pins. The only way to fix this is obviously to take the game out and put it back in. It doesn't affect the video output to the TV, but it definitely affects the video to the LCD itself. So I'm going to take the game out and reseat it. Let's try it this time. There you go. You notice it faded to black instead of white, even though the title logo is white. When I press the start button, it goes black instead of white. Now you don't have those lines. And then you can use the stock controller, or if you have the adapter, click it on, and then use the D-pad. God, I love this game. Alright, enough of that. Turn it off, pull the game out. Simple as that. Alright, let's try the next game. Next game I'm going to show is Yoshi's Island. Because everybody loves this game. And if you don't love it, there's something wrong with you. GBA, eat your heart out. Anyway, get the point. Let's try another game. Turn that off, pull it out. How about the Super Game Boy? Here I have Mega Man 5 plugged in there. Make sure it's seated correctly. Let's hope it is. No, it's not. That's to get the white screen. Sometimes when that happens, you know, you have to give it another shot. There it is, fixed. Game Boy, Super Game Boy. Now this is using the sound chip on the Super Game Boy, so let's see how well it gets emulated. It doesn't get emulated very well at all, but the Super Boy has the same problem, so I don't know. Don't know what to say. Something that is kind of interesting is you can control the volume still through the volume slider on the system itself. Even it controls the video, the output to the TV. Alright, enough of that. Pull that out. The last Super NES game I wanted to show you guys running is a question that I think many of you would be wondering about. Mario RPG. Does Mario RPG run on this system? Because it doesn't run on the FC16 Go and it doesn't run on the Superboy. SA1 games tend to not run on these systems, especially revision 1.1, which is the one I have, which won't work on the Retro Duo proper, won't work on any of the clones I own. So will it run on this? That is the big question. Let's plug it in and let's find out. Do your ears deceive you? Do your eyes deceive you? Nope. Here's Mario RPG running on a clone system. And not just any Mario RPG, this is the Mario RPG that doesn't run on clones. So if you own this game, you're in luck. Alright, well that's about half the story. The other half is, of course, the NES support through this little device called the Retro Port. This is, again, an NES adapter for Super Nintendo that runs on the Retro Duo only. Now, I'm going to plug this in and show you an NES game in action. So, what NES game should I show? But Super Mario Brothers, of course. So, pull that out. Let's make sure it's snug in there. And plugged in. With an NES game, this is what it looks like. It sort of looks like a tower, and it's sort of ridiculous, but you know, there's no other way to do it because NES games are huge. They come up to this point right here. That's what that line is. So that's just the NES game. Let's turn it on and see what we got. So again, you'll notice the composite video is not very complimentary. It's pretty terrible, even for a Famiclone. To the LCD itself, it's half decent. Again, it's this is acceptable. This is not. But there is a problem with this thing, and immediately right off the bat, let's press the start button and show you what I mean. There's the NOAC noise, which is not terrible. It's not great either. It varies from game to game. Some games sound better than others. But here's the problem. For whatever reason, Retrobit decided to map the NES B button to the SNES B button. And they mapped the NES A button to the SNES A button. So that means when you're using the Retro Duo Retro Port, you use the B and A buttons of the SNES controller, not the Y and B as it is in every other clone, including the Retro Duo proper. Why they went out of their way to change this, I have no idea, but there's no way you can use the Y and B buttons. So this means if you have any adapters to use real NES controllers on an SNES or something like that, you won't be able to use it because only the B button will function, which will function as the NES's A button. Yeah, it's confusing, but and it's stupid. But yeah, you have to use these two buttons when playing. Well, that about wraps it up for now. I'm going to be showing you another video with more NES problems. So, more NES problems and surprises. So, thanks for watching.